Welcome back to Coffee with a Life Coach. I am your life coach, Brianna, coming to you on Valentine's Day. It's our month of love. So every episode this month has really been focused on love, specifically how to love ourselves. And this one is going to be maybe the most important one, and one that I could probably expand into 50 different episodes, and maybe I will. But for today, we're going to talk about self-love of our physical forms, our bodies. So the largest industry in the world, without any data to back this up, I would suspect has to do with making us feel like our bodies aren't acceptable. So that's made up of a healthcare industry that has research funded and framed by lobby dollars. We have the fitness and diet industry, which want to constantly tell us that we don't have access to happiness until our bodies are changed or reduced, look a certain way. We have the fashion industry, where patterns, for instance, that are made for mass production have this huge gap for sizes 10 to 14 and then above specific sizes. So that's a challenge for many of us. We have makeup industries that are intending to tell us that we can't have lines and wrinkles. We can't show any natural indication of aging. We have Spanx and every other kind of clothing that tells us, again, that we need to conform our bodies to a specific shape to be attractive and appealing. And if we start to reframe the way we think about our bodies, we can start to make peace with our bodies. So imagine if you went to a dog park. I'm a dog lover, so imagine going to a dog park on a busy Saturday morning, and you get there and there's 50 dogs, and you see dogs like you see corgis that are short and fluffy, a little bit barrel chested, they've got short legs, and then you see Great Danes that are tall and strong, and they kind of lope along in a way that's so graceful that it seems as if they're just made for athletic dog stuff, whatever that is. And you see everything in between, Chihuahuas and Beagles and Bassets and Huskies and whatever. And imagine standing at the dog park and asking yourself, well, why is that German Shepherd so hairy? Why is that Corgi so round? Why is that Chihuahua's voice so high? What's wrong with that dog that it has such long legs? Why does that dog tilt its head when it talks? Why does that dog do this, that, or the other? And yet that's what we do to ourselves. We see dogs and we're instantly accepting of who they are. We know that if you take a poodle that looks a certain way and you cross it with a Labrador Retriever that looks a certain way, you get a Labradoodle that looks a certain way, looks just like a cross between mom and dad and all the generations that came before mom and dad. And there's great pride in that. You can even certify that. You can get a special breed that chases back the lineage. Well, guess what? That's what we are. Our bodies are a reflection of the parents that came before us. The German and the English that had a baby looks like this. I think if we're able to consider our bodies as being as unique as our fingerprints and nothing more than our fingerprints of our soul, we can start to be at peace with our bodies. We have a body. We are not a body. We are a soul. So if we have a body, and our body is the result of all of the generations before us that decided to make sweet love and come out with babies, why can't we start to accept ourselves as being just the current generation's face of all of those generations, the current generation's body of all of those generations? I look in the mirror every day and I see my father's chin. My father's not alive anymore, and yet I still see him. I see my grandmother's shape. I have my grandmother's feet, my grandmother's boobs. I have my mother's lips and belly. I have the same eyebrows and ears of other people in my family. My hair even could equally put me in a lineup, and you would be able to pick me out if you also saw my family. That is who we are. We get into trouble with our bodies when we try to change it. When we go through cycles of binging and diets and intense exercise regimens that we don't love or that feel forced, and that's when we get ourselves into these big swings. And I have done it for 30 years of getting into those big swings of trying to change what is actually just supposed to be the way it is. Yes, I need to be healthy, but health is not a single dimension. Health is not represented only by your BMI or your relationship with gravity reflected on a scale. Health is also your emotional well-being. Health is your mental health. And how many times do you find yourself in a mental health situation of despair because you just simply don't like your body, or you just simply feel so many external pressures to conform and change your body? What if you have this body as it is today for the rest of your life? Can you start to make peace? Can you start to fall in love with it? Can you stop looking in the mirror and finding fault with it, and instead see all of the generations that come before you and recognize that those relationships that came before you might not be perfect, but what is perfect are the opportunities you now have as that generation that has one more step evolved. You have opportunities to love yourself in ways that generations before did not have. You're here watching this video for a reason, so that you can start to make peace with your body and you can start to love that fingerprint to your soul. It is nothing more than the ability for us to recognize each other, not criticize each other, not compare ourselves, not try to conform ourselves. Don't drink the Kool-Aid anymore that you need to conform. That industry, under the umbrella of health or under the umbrella of wellness, they need us to be in a state of chaos. They need for us to hate ourselves, or they go away. They have no business if we love ourselves. If we love ourselves, we can put the diet industry out of business. We can put a large part of the fitness industry out of business. We can put a big portion of the fashion industry out of business. We can put pharmaceuticals, largely in many cases, out of business. We will take fewer medications. We will numb our feelings and our pain less. And we will generally start to change the world. All of those things that you have inside of you that you're waiting to express until you reach a certain weight, or until your face looks different. You get that next whatever it is, whatever that fix is that you're trying to do to make yourself look a certain way so that you can then start to love yourself. That's bullshit. You can love yourself today. Now, I'm not attacking anybody who wants to put makeup on their face or who wants to change their body to anything they want. It's your body, right? Rule number one, you have complete sovereignty over your body. All of your choices, they're yours. So if you want to make any of those choices, I will support you until the day is dead. However, if you're doing that because you think that's what you have to do to start to love your physical form, think about the Kool-Aid that you're drinking. Think about how you got to where you are. And instead start to make peace. Start to recognize your loved ones in your own reflection. Start to recognize the life you've led, the achievements you've accomplished, the pain you've experienced, the joy that still awaits you. And then you can continue to love yourself. Thank you for joining me with coffee with a life coach. I am the queen of horrific thumbnails, and I find it to be so hilarious that I'm not even going to learn how to change it. I think there's a way I can put up some kind of splash screen in the beginning so that it doesn't capture my funny face by algorithm somewhere flat in the middle of these episodes, but they are hilarious to me, so hopefully I will get another hilarious thumbnail out of this. In the meantime, please feel free to comment, like, share wide, and I will be back with you soon. Bye.